One of the common things we see when an account gets compromised, especially on student accounts, is where the bad actors like to go right away is email. Um, there's a lot of things they can do with email. They like to send over, um, usually phishing emails is the common thing, and this is again where the platform can help out in the side of the email and web security, and also that cloud application protection. So we have an interface here that's going to be taking a look at email activity. So we'll certainly be identifying those risks as John mentioned there earlier. We also do have a phishing and a malware component. On the phishing side, we'll be looking for phishing URLs via Google Web Risk API and PhishTank. And on the malware side, we'll be using Avaria here. In this case, in this particular section of Gmail, looking for those email attachments. But we also do look at drive files as well as shared drive files. Same thing over in Microsoft, looking at OneDrive, looking at Outlook, looking at SharePoint Teams. From here, you can take a look at emails just generally. There's some different ways you can pull information down. You can preview it. You can look at headers of the emails if you need to for whatever reason. You can even download them as PDFs, and you can go through and also just outright delete emails or quarantine them, and that can be done on up to 10 entries at a time here. The important tool here, and this is something that exists in both Google and Microsoft, though, is the live email search. What this allows you to do is go ahead and track down any specific emails you need to find. A couple limitations there. We can't find emails that have been completely deleted from the domain, and this doesn't work with any accounts that have been suspended. So the account does have to be active. But you can put in whatever specific search criteria you're looking for here. You can even just grab a single user, and then if you go ahead and press that search here, it's going to go ahead and find the accounts in question here that meet your search criteria, and you'll be able to quickly see those emails. And it's not just visibility with these emails. You can see some similar icons here to pull those emails down and look at them, but you can also come through and outright delete those emails as well. And this is a really helpful feature if you get a spear phishing attack, or somebody sends an email domain wide that they shouldn't have, maybe an email with sensitive information. Or I've even seen situations where when someone replied all on an email thread and it keeps causing issues that way. You can go through there and find those emails and remove them from everyone's inboxes quite quickly. So this works really well for those kinds of situations or scenarios there. Also just great for general investigation into email as well too. So a lot of times when we see compromised accounts, we might see odd emails or things like that going to the outside. Sometimes situations where the emails are even written in different languages. That's a pretty popular one where they'll use a student account and then send emails out in a different language. So last component I'm going to talk about here before I pass it over to my colleague John here is just going to be the malware section here. I'm actually going to hop over to the Microsoft side for just a moment here. So when we're looking at the malware side of things here, we use Avaria as our malware scanning engine. And again, we're going to be looking at things within the Microsoft side, within OneDrive, within Outlook, within SharePoint Teams. Over in Google, that's going to be drive files, Gmail attachments, and then shared drive files. When the platform finds something, it's going to stick into one of two categories. It's going to stick in either malicious or suspicious. If this was an active piece of malware, I could click the drop-down arrow there. I could be presented with what it was flagged as. I could download a report from Avaria as why it got flagged. And then there's options even to click in here, just get basic information. Now, the platform is not going to let you download anything that's been flagged as malware. We do that by design. But then you do have options to come in here and actually take actions. You can outright delete things. You can quarantine things, which will transfer ownership over. Or you can outright ignore things if it was a false positive, which sometimes happens, but is pretty infrequent. And certainly we've seen some incidents pop up. I've seen an email where someone was trying to impersonate the FBI. It was clearly something that didn't look legitimate. And then there was another one where a superintendent had been blind carbon copied on an email that looked pretty fishy, had an odd PDF attached to it. So those are the kinds of things where you can get those removed quite quickly, and you can even automate that via policy there. One of the common things we see when an account gets compromised